Is it
Not too fast.
hey YouTube?
Hey YouTube, Happy New Year, YouTube.
Happy New Year. I've already said it.
Yes.
But yeah, so me and Scott were finishing off this kitchen today, so
Hence why.
particularly Manky unfortunately brushed his hair to look to be a bit like
I've not brushed my hair.
well, you've no longer got the spikes.
Right, okay, yeah, I had
the Wolverine look.
full on hat hair.
Cool. So we'll start off with a little episode of what's in the bag? What bag? What's in the bag? What's in the bag?
Donna.
Did you just call me a slag?
Just spill my pint.
Yeah, totally.
Zip.
Well,
alright, okay.
yeah. So with the Donner Kebab guitar, I kept the gig back because I had stinge. Also, I can still get the joke without having the guitar. It's the civilian version of Apache Attack helicopter.
Actually, it's not that far away, is it?
It's the neck's very different.
The chamfer's sharp. Yeah. And the tremor's floating.
Yeah, so
hold on a second, oh look.
That was why I brought it over. So, what we saw the price there was 220 quid for that.
Yeah, 220.
So 10 times for that.
Yeah, so just use really a move of a decimal point.
Yeah.
And it's obviously
It's definitely have a look. It's also much earlier than I thought it was because I saw looking at reviews there and it had it from.
But one of the things that I notice that kind of stands out to me is it's the same shape of headstock as the Fujigen over there.
It's very similar, isn't it? Oh. It's very similar,
isn't it?
It's also a little bit like, see, the samurai headstock. Yeah. The RGX I got off you actually. In fact, there's an RGX as well. The 2A.
What is the string tension?
10s.
10s?
Roto 10s. On. What was I going to do? Oh, it's the serial number decoder. It should be quite blank in the middle. It's alright, I mean. Let's grab the switch.
It's got the funk.
He got the funk.
This isn't bad at all. That actually is a bit high.
Someone has spent any time fidgeting with it, really, apart from.
Yeah, okay, right, sorry, right, let's go. Serial number is.
Yeah.
I was blind as.
It's this.
Where?
It's there.
Where?
You're down. It's going to be pure.
I can't see a bloody thing.
Oh god, I just. Oh. Torch on.
Wait a minute. What? Oh, there you go.
You go see it. Is there? Is that? That's it.
It's.
I reckon it's II.
It's 1-1.
It's not II.
No, it's.
No, I think it's II. II.
You sure? 27205.
7205.
05.
Because I think no, it can't still.
Oh, there you go. 2002, 2012.
Torch off. Serial number II27. Production year is 27th of February.
That's my birthday.
In 1962, 72, 82, 92, 2002 or 2012.
I'm betting that this is a 2012. Definitely.
It seems very new. I don't know. They changed the headstock on them though.
Down the spec seems too new. For a 2002 even, I'd say 2012.
Sounds about right. The strap bridge seems to work really well as well.
Eh?
The strap bridge seems to work really well as well.
That's a joy, you can't see this, but we've got the manual for the guitar, and it's really quite detailed. I mean, it really is.
It makes it
Hence
much
why
more
we're both staring off to the side while we're supposed to be talking to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was looking at. I looked up the specs and it was like what.
So what? Eh?
Scale. This is the manual you get with a Yamaha
It's an
guitar.
alder body.
An older body. That's good. That's
a good thing. Alder body, and it's got a
number
maple
of
neck.
frets. 22.
Fingerboard material. Rosewood.
I wonder if you're not allowed to actually type rosewood in to eBay. I wonder if they just call it rose because
It is a nice bit of wood though.
not bad. The frets on it pretty good.
Frets are pretty good too. The frets are, I would say, big. Large frets.
I'm quite well done. What's the that's broken.
That's broken. What's this? It's Strat scale length, right?
It is. It's 648 mil. I don't know why I remember that, but yeah. So it's just a Strat.
Where did I put my? I've got one of these doohickey things where we can test the pickups because they feel quite hot, don't they?
The humbuckers are, yeah. Is that fine?
See there?
Versus. It's quite a different neck though.
Quite a different guitar,
Yeah.
okay, that one's loud. This one's louder. The reason our guitar can sounds so different from another guitar, isn't it?
It does. Especially if two guitars that look the same. Well,
it's not. It's not a million miles off, though, is it?
I don't know. You might find, see when I was trying out the FGN against your taillights, when I went back to the FGN, it didn't seem as big a jump as it did the other way. I don't think it'll be as much of a jump going back the way, I think.
It's different altogether, isn't it?
That is, well, it's doing a different thing. No, it's not. It should be doing the same thing, isn't it?
I would have thought it would have been closer. Nice stratty sound though.
Obviously it doesn't have your treble bleed thing on it either. And it's made of faffed about with a switch. So technically it's meant to be humbucker, in positions 2 and 4 it's meant to be humbucker in the middle. I've got it splitting.
Alright, okay.
That's why it's quite a bit louder. And
I've noticed on the FGN that the drop in volume between the humbucker and the kind of single sounds quite big. Yeah, it's not bad though, do you know what I mean? It's quite handy for solo and stuff, but it's quite big. Certainly bigger than this one.
but the middle position would be the only one, the only sound.
That sounds great.
Quite a good guitar.
Quite a good guitar. It's a very good guitar.
It's alright.
That's magic.
Yeah, you've got to show your Jesse Ray though.
Jesse Ray.
Which actually,
Merry
I would say it sits
like a guitar.
like my Claymore guitar. So this is
Merry Christmas. I know, imagine buying me a sword. It's a bastard sword and it's got a live blade on it. So it's like a really sharp kitchen knife from the top to the bottom both, so take it out if you want to swing it. Don't swing it about though. It's terrifying actually.
It is.
If this touches your skin, it cuts you. And it's got a really long, really thick, really heavy blade on it. Look at that.
It's so thin you can't even see it in the...
Well, it's actually really heavy though, isn't it?
It is, yes.
It's hardened, whatever it is, steel. Bastard sword. That went in because I shout bastard at the telly a lot, so my son saw this in his mind's eye.
Yeah.
He thought he needs a sword while he's shouting at the telly.
It's pure... Yeah.
Home invasions though.
Oh. Not here. Oh. It's terrifying though, you can almost... It's almost buzzing. When you take it out, it's kind of got this sort of...
Vibrating.
Don't touch it, it's hot or something going on.
Yeah. It's scary.
Definite thing. It is totally cool though. Let's put it in the video. The other thing which we're showing off as well, to a wee bit of camera movage. I was on Marketplace the other day.
Yeah.
That was a desk cabinet. It was a Blackstar 4x8.
Yeah, and I had seen it in the morning. I was like,
and you were like, and then he asked me if I was going for it. I was like, I can't think of any good excuse.
Yeah.
Like, ha! So we're now running the Blackstar 4x8 cabinet.
8 cabinet.
And it's really cool.
Alongside a Fender 1x12.
Yeah, a crate 1x12 with a Fender speaker in it.
Yeah.
And then you've seen
In his head.
the Tube Screamer.
Yeah, so
That's
that
working
all
quite well.
went
There's the
together
effects look.
sounds ridiculous. So.
It would go from that way, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I don't know things plugged in, but yeah.
That
Goes through the effects loop, which is tube driven as well.
And then we've got
and then
on the
that's
floor.
on the floor.
Yeah.
Just simple stuff. What have I got just
Cup
now?
of tea.
A cup of tea.
Tube
a
Screamer
PC
switch.
Spark, a Mojo, and a Super Fuzz. And that's it.
Rocking, but that's pretty good. I've
That
actually
is
played through the
amazing.
ID core, doing a wee bit of a Blackstar video here.
Yeah, ID Core
But that's
1.
the bass was sounded fine through it.
Do you know what? That wee amp's great for everything.
It seems to be.
Yeah, well,
It's like
I've been using it specifically for stereo thing, and it's what out of focus. Yeah, I've been using it as a stereo amp. It's been really good. For that, you need something that's really good as a clean amp, which that tends to be.
what did I just drop there? Oh.
But did you just trying to work it out?
I think it was my lighter. it nearly went into the tea.
I love this guitar. It's my favourite guitar.
Your military spec Apache attack helicopter, as opposed to being civilian spec.
Just so close though, isn't it? It's got the same kind of aesthetic. Not quite as smooth and stuff like that, but it's got the same kind of aesthetic.
I mean, you're starting to look at most of the components of that on their own are worth probably cost more than that guitar.
But it's not bad at all.
No. I think it did sound better when I put the extra switch in. Oh, what I meant to say is, like, I was putting I had the last one of these I had, the ERG one I had. I tried to split the pickups and broke both the pickups, trying to get the extra wire on. So they just went to bin and put other pickups in it, but on that one I was like, I was going to do the same again, isn't it? But actually, on the bottom of the pickup, you get there's only one wire coming off each end of each coil. So you get one going in to start, then one that joins the two coils together. So and there's even a wee terminal, so you can just solder directly onto the terminal without having to cut wires or snip in to put the coil split wires in.
Which
I thought was really good.
Yeah.
And I quite like those. I think the pickups sound alright as well.
So they really do.
For
on the bridge, Strat sounds Strat.
It's one of those guitars. I mean, at what point would you upgrade it? It's like you wouldn't stick your Seymour Duncans in it.
It's very different
because it's not worth enough money.
Sounding. I don't know actually. I don't know. I think is that if you allow for inflation, a more expensive guitar than the FGN. If it's 220 in 2000 and what would
I can't remember. 2003 I think you said, or 2012, I can't remember.
Inflation, I mean inflation's been a bit mental.
Yeah.
So I think it's probably try it. See what that is, modern day money.
Alright,
inflation calculator. searched for it already. We use it quite a lot.
How do you take it if you just go to it?
That's it, just click on it. That's it. Good doing. Right, so
can I just
£220 was the.
It was. It could have been either. It was.
Well, that's what the guy paid for it in 2000 and.
I think it was 2013 or
2012.
Right. Well, 2012 might be when that was.
Yeah. Show amount.
We're 2022 now.
2020. It's only going to show you 2020.
Because it's like pure COVID. No, everything went shit.
Good.
265.
It's not that much.
No.
What if it's from 2002? That was the other option, wasn't it?
It was, yes. You could have also bought it second hand.
366. That feels more like what it's worth today, around about 350. That's a new guitar, I mean.
Yeah. Well, you're 350, 366, so you're talking shop price at that would be what, 320
basically,
or 330 or something like that?
About 300.
Is that kind of not how much a sort of Pacifica costs? Is the cheapest Pacifica not 280 or something like that?
I think so, yeah. I think so, but I don't know, has it got a solid, well it does have an alder body, didn't it? That's one of the things that they used to sell Pacificas.
Yes.
Was that they had a wooden body that they could show. Yeah,
and you could just, that would be the adverts, and it was like, just ask your local guitar dealer to show you the natural option.
Yeah, I've actually got the natural option up on my wall over there, it's got no strings on it.
Very pretty. I think you should, I don't know. Should you put strings on it?
Yeah.
And then it's just like, it's a cool, we could
I know I've got
shoot it out against that.
I accidentally bought another set of strings, another box of strings, so I've got no excuse not to. I may well. I've got too many guitars hanging out in the wall that don't get used is the problem. Feeling a cull coming on in 2022. Yeah. 2022, right?
I'm thinking of doing my colour. I said in one of the videos I was going to do, try and get rid of 10 guitars, and it's like I'm already sitting looking at them going, no, I quite like that one.
Yeah, well I'm still with the dime still sitting on the block for me. And the red Les Paul is definitely on the chopping block. And the brown Yamaha has got to go. I mean,
You've got the white Yamaha.
Honestly, I was sitting playing it the other night there, and it's like,
it's not necessary,
but it's just not different enough. It's literally sounds the different. I mean, you can tell which guitar's which. You could blindfold test and tell you which one's mine.
Yeah, the white one.
They're both mine. Do you know what I mean? You can tell which one's the white one, the favourite one.
Yeah.
So there's no point in keeping the second one. So if anybody wants to buy a Yamaha SG out there,
SG200, it's really
hit
good.
me up. It's a cracker.
Yeah. Unless you want to buy my SG200, which is
also a cracker.
It's also a cracker, but weighs 25% more.
It may be 25%
for better sustain and heaviness. And if you want to smash someone in the face with it, they might get up after it.
Whereas if you've got a slightly sore back, mine's is better.
Yeah, you want to get a proper sore back, so you take a heavy one and you can get time off work.
True, but then you've got the dime and my red Les Paul, but my red Les Paul is really nice, and I
think it might be worth quite a lot of money. I keep seeing Les Pauls that look like, you know, this sort of horrible chop. Looks like someone's just rubbed shite into the wood.
Yeah.
That one. I keep seeing them and they're going for like £600.
Really?
They're the ones that you just kind of go. It does look like somebody's just.
I'll show them. Tell you what you do in the comments. Tell me what you think it's worth. What's it worth?
Because we all love Les Pauls on here. No, I actually quite. I'm looking forward to doing that Antoria.
Right, red Les Paul. Look at that. Look at the dust. See the dust?
Sateen finish.
It's dusty as fuck. It's literally got a layer of dust.
It's a Game of Thrones quote. I don't give a dusty fuck.
Look at that. Look.
So it's not on your most played list?
It's just not. No. The thing about Les Pauls is when you sit them in your lap, they want you backflip out. Backflip. It's a big fat arse. Look at it. Size of that. Can you look? Yeah. See, I mean, the nip is really far forward. So when you sit it on your lap, it's kind of unbalanced.
That's one thing the Washburn Falcon does worse.
And
because the nip's even further near the front, and there's no, so it's just totally
like
not a sitting down guitar.
It's not a good couch guitar either because too much of it sticks out the back. You're much better with a Strax. It kind of sits more there, isn't it? You can sit in a corner with a Strat and still play it. But yeah, this is a really cool. Good. I mean, it's as good as any other Les Paul I've ever played. So, but I don't play it. What's it worth?
A studio. I'll tell you in the
Les
back
Paul
of the headstock.
Studio.
I'll tell you in the back of the headstock.
Yeah.
In fact, Black Fox has said he knows everything about Gibson, so
yeah. Well, this is a wee. What was this one? It's a certain kind of one. It's a slightly thicker body.
It's a 1-1-2. Meaning USA 2012.
Yeah. But it's got a thicker body than a normal studio.
Right.
And it had a slightly different setup. It was different setup.
Is it like a funny version, a studio
something,
plus or a studio
LX or something? It was, and it had silver stuff all over it, which the guy before me took off.
Oh right.
Yeah. So that was when I was saying I was going to put all the stuff back on again, but it just looks ugly with the silver buttons and whatnot.
No, silver pickup rings.
That probably might well have been, I don't know. That's the ones that came with.
Right.
That's just he was talking about when he first got it, had all the silver stuff on it and he hated it. So he put black stuff all on it, which does look quite nice. It's quite a nice top in it.
Looks fine. I'm just thinking the black looks like it's meant. As far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. But it just sits in my rack and just gathers dust, and
Plus it's celebrity endorsed.
Yeah.
Yeah. One day I need to get a Les Paul at some point.
So what do you think they're worth? About 600 quid, 700 quid, something like that?
It definitely looks, to my eye, it looks an awful lot nicer than a lot of the ones you see for that sort of price.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's one of those ones that
it's a nice wood grain. This one. It's not. What is it called? It's not really that flamey. It's just got a lot of figuring in it.
It's just maple.
Yeah.
Which tonally I'd imagine sounds exactly the same because I said the word.
And it's a really nice back on it as well. Nice bit of wood.
Nice bit of mahogany.
Aye, no brakes. No abla.
You can break it yourself.
Once you break it's better though, of course, isn't it?
Broke my SG. It means you're never going to sell it because you get
this has got a 59 carve, isn't it? Is this what you call that? Where it's not really a massive handful, but it's not that skinny either.
I don't know.
Because it started getting skinny about 60. 57s are massive apparently. They start getting thinner as you get closer to 60. 59's the Goldilocks. As they say, but this is sort of that kind of carve.
Something like a carve is like, it can't cost any more to carve it or less to carve it. It's just like,
I think it's just a comfort thing. Where you can tell with this one, if you pop that one down, put this in your hand. This one's got a kind of a 59-ish carve.
It's much lighter than I was expecting it to be.
This one has got a much thicker neck. Just let it go back.
That's quite a thick neck, isn't it? That's quite a thick
well,
neck.
No, that's
something like an Ibanez RG. That's not a thin neck. There's a guitar you could. There's a guitar you could buy. You could have handed me that felt thin
so
after an RG.
Getting towards a thinner neck.
Yeah. It's not the slim taper one.
It's not slim, but it's the 60.
No, but you get the slim taper one, which feels really weird. It's kind of round or something.
Yeah.
It's hard to describe, but it's kind of.
If you go from that, this has got a kind of
an SG neck on it.
An earlier SG. It's got quite a big neck on it.
Oh, it does, yeah. Well, it's very similar to mine actually. I think.
Gibson neck.
SGs are SGs. I do quite like one of these.
Yeah.
I saw one of these actually.
I really like that one. It's got a really nice bit of wood in the back. Actually, if you look at it's really nice the way it goes in a straight line from the bottom.
It's getting none of your special tone plastic on it either.
No.
So it's a ringer. No.
Such is my preference. I prefer guitars without tone plastic all over them. I'm gonna get hate for that.
Go for it. Blacktooth Fox likes tone plastic. Says binding enhances the harmonics. He doesn't know. Just
Okay, right, okay.
Sorry.
So he's coming up.
there was an old spark working with us today. He was telling some jokes, and the guy was just hilarious.
He was quite
He
funny.
had all the patter. It was just like,
An old
so,
blokey.
since then, we've been both been in a slightly strange mood, making worse jokes than usual.
Oh, he was dad. His jokes were of the 70s and 80s, let's say.
It's true.
Yeah.
My favourite was like, getting the sockets taken out. It's like, oh, that's difficult. Oh, it's difficult. I can do it, but it's difficult.
Yeah,
It's like,
really
brilliant.
hard job.
Yeah, it's really hard. It's really hard. It's like, I can do it, and it's like, I'm pretty sure. I think he was just helping the girl out anyway. But I'm pretty sure it's a case of snip. There you go.
But this is for sale then, I think, isn't it? Yeah. Red Les Paul.
Red Les Paul Studio 2012.
Yeah.
It's a nice. Is it as far? Oh, it's a Les Paul. I'm not just not a Les Paul fan.
Well, I mean, then I've
It's
done
still a
all
nice
the
guitar, though.
messing about with the frets and whatnot, so
It's properly built.
well,
You finished building it?
Yeah, well, it plays properly. Do you know what I mean? The frets are really nice. The neck's nice, and yeah, it doesn't drag. But sometimes you pick up old Les Pauls that don't looked after, and you try and bend strings, and they're rubbish because they drag all over the place. Yeah, this is a good Les Paul. Sold. I keep looking at it and thinking, I should keep it, but no.
Should you sit it on like the stand that sits there, so it's right in front of you all the time, and you keep looking at it, and you keep looking at it?
I'll keep playing it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but I prefer this.
Like
I play this all the time. This is one of my. It needs new strings, but yeah, this one gets played all the time.
I've not played my SG for ages.
Nice and light and thin. Nice bit of wood.
Mine's dunked in tone plastic. Got an ebony fingerboard though, so that'll make up for it.
This has got the, what did they call that finish? It's not the gloss one, this is the...
Well, satin.
It's like satin, yeah, it's road worn, is that what they called it? Is it the road worn series or something these were called? I don't know.
There are ones that, I think there's a difference between a satin finish and there's ones that look like they just never bothered painting them.
Right, yeah.
I think the tribute ones are much more...
No, this is very...
They're more just like they're stained as opposed to being...
What, this one's finished?
Well, it's stained and had one coat of whatever it is.
Poly.
Maybe.
It'll not be nitro.
No. It'd probably have to be 3 or 4 coats to make it as thick as that.
This is one of the things I sent Malcolm a picture. A woman sold me this amp thing. I was in her garage and doing the transaction because of COVID and whatnot. But she said, yeah, there's a couple of other guitars that I want to sell. And I was like, oh, really? She said, yeah, I've got an Ibanez. And I'm like, oh, pray tell. Yeah, it's a Flying V. And I'm like, right?
Yep, the one, basically, is it the rocket roll?
Well, that's what I'm thinking, yeah, I was thinking rock and roll.
Paul Gilbert one.
Paul Gilbert one, was like, yeah.
The one that makes a flying, have you any Flying V up to that point? Just look cheap shite, really. It's
yeah, I had my head full of that.
Yeah.
And she says, yeah, there's another guitar as well, but I'm not sure what that one is. But yeah, bought the amp and a couple of days later these photographs came through.
Oh, I remember what the other one is now. It was a Rory Gallagher tribute.
Oh, Rory Gallagher tribute Strat, but it's a tenor caster as
yes,
I
coined the phrase, I think.
It's worth about a £10 maybe.
Yeah, one I would buy for a tenner in a charity shop or something.
Poly finish on it that somebody's went to the absolute hell of scraping off. Do you know how hard it is to get poly off?
Yes, and it doesn't look like they used a belt sander or a rotary thing. They've done it somehow else.
But it took a lot of time, that one.
Oh, it did.
This is the thing, see the people who do these guitars, who do their relicing jobs, there are actually guitars in existence from the 70s and 80s with poly finishes on them, and the poly finishes are still on them.
Still on them.
Yeah. And they've been in punk bands and they've been in... The poly finishes are still there. They're not falling off.
No. Like
it's a nitrocellulose finish.
I was going to say my Music Master, but my Music Master I've had for 20 years, so it's not done in 20 years.
But yeah, the poly finishes don't wear off like that at all. Like the guys you see who belt sand their guitars, and people like me and him laugh at them, but I'm not. Yeah, we do.
There's obviously a pang of jealousy to have so much money you would spend an extra £2,000 on that and not care.
Oh, do you know what?
But I still wouldn't if I had.
It is nearly $2,000 to have your guitar.
It's something
beat up.
I think there's those is it Murphy Labs ones.
That's what I mean. The Murphy Labs.
They're more than that. I think they're like they start at 6 or something like that.
I've had a brand new Les Paul.
You can buy. Can I buy it? And one of the questions was, can I buy a $2,000 or $2.5 Les Paul and then get them to relic the one that I chose rather than buying one they pre? And it's like yes, but there's like an 8-month waiting list or something, and it costs you $3,000.
It's like buying a brand new Audi and then saying, yeah, can you take it and rally it for the weekend, please? Don't wash it when you return it though. Put as many dings in it as possible. Make it look as if I drive like a mean bastard.
Yeah. Not into.
I don't see.
Relicing. And the thing is, I've got so many guitars that are beat up anyway, and that's why they were cheap.
See, what you want to do is get the guitar the way that the guy who had the guitar got the guitar and fell in love with the guitar the way they got it. Do you know what I mean? And then they put that wear on. You do the same.
Yeah.
It's a poly finish.
But there's a big difference between
poly and
like,
nitro.
It doesn't need to be set up and stuff, or it's just like clean it. Don't fix it, just clean it. It's like you get a guitar and it's just.
Yeah, but this feels good though. See, now that we know that it's made out of alder.
It's now tone alder. And there's a difference. That's mahogany, isn't it? So there's mahogany sounding through the humbuckers.
Yeah.
Alder sounding, so that's why it sounds more stratty.
That's why it's not as bright in the mids, maybe. It's African mahogany, brighter in the mids.
If you said it, then once I've uploaded this video, it's on the internet, and if it's on the internet,
Must
it's
be true.
That's quite a good way to end it.
African mahogany is
true.
But in fact, you probably could just end it on that one.
I thought
it's true.
I thought it was quite good. Rock on.